For most of us, postcodes are just a jumble of digits and letters at the end of an address, but for some teenagers, they've become territorial boundaries defining where they can and cannot go. David Akinsanya has been in Hackney investigating the disturbing urban trend of teenage postcode gangs.
Break it down. What? Come on.
For most of us, postcodes mean nothing more than a bunch of numbers that indicate where we are or where we want to go. But to a new generation of Londoners, postcodes have literally become danger zones, marking out no-go areas.
This typical Hackney street is not all it appears. In the minds of young locals, there's an invisible line. It's a line that separates E5 from E9, and going over that line could lead you in the path of rival gangs.
Hearing stories about people getting shot and stabbed just for stepping just outside their door and across the road, and they're in another postcode.
We know examples of people innocently off the borough walking through the estate. A car might roll up and say, "Which area are you from, blood?" which means where you're from, and violence would ensue.
It's a problem that Biko and Wes have to deal with every day. Born and bred in Hackney, Biko's postcode is E5, but stepping just one street away from home can lead to trouble.
So if you go to an area where you've never been before, then you're going to feel kind of not worried, but wary of where you are, your surroundings, because you don't know what can come around the corner and stuff like that.
In fact, for Biko and Wes, even the shortest of journeys is full of risks.
Right, I've got a map here, and given what you've said, there are 14 different postcodes in and around Hackney that you two regularly have to travel through. That must be a logistical nightmare.
It's not that far, it's just a postcode that changed, so it's not really that difficult. During the day it'll be alright, but when it starts getting late at night, then after you start getting a bit anxious and gangs and stuff like that.
And what's your worry? What are you worrying about?
I'm just worried about getting mugged or just get worried day-to-day life, just in case anything can happen out there.
Superintendent Logan's district covers Hackney Central, and he's becoming increasingly concerned about how postcode gangs are hampering the freedom of local teenagers.
If they know they have to go to a certain part of the borough and have to go through another postcode, they'll take a bus looping round that area, or they get someone to drop them. I know people who won't walk through another postcode, so we're in E5, they won't go to E9 direct, they might have to take a cab.
He's been policing this area for well over a decade, and he remembers a time when things were very different.
I grew up in Hackney, nearby in Islington. I went to college in the borough. We had our differences, but we could walk safely. I walked through this estate in the 70s, not a problem.
If you're looking for trouble, you came to the right place.
Teenage gangs are nothing new. Mods versus rockers, Teds v rude boys, skinheads and punks. Rivalry has always been a part of youth culture. They defined their tribes by what they wore, and their uniforms shouted out their allegiances loud and proud. The difference today is you don't have to buy the fashions to be part of this worrying trend. In fact, kids don't even have to make a choice to join in. They're members of postcode gangs whether they like it or not, simply by virtue of where they live.
There you go.
Let's go. Cool?
Yeah, cool, man.
It's a problem that Joseph knows all too well. Today, he's meeting with his mates Biko and Wes.
It's like people come up to me and go to me, "Where you from?" Yeah, like, "Where do you live?" And I'll say where I live, and then they say, "Oh, you're this because you live in that place." But every time they try and say that, I just try and say, "Well, I'm not." Every person is an independent person, and every person rubs off on other people in different ways. So you just because they're from this area doesn't mean that they have a certain way of living or something like that.
No, but we're not all in gangs, innit?
Exactly.
It's like there's other people out there
there's other people that aren't in gangs. Like, I'm not in a gang. I'm not.
When I go to different areas of London, I feel under threat because of these people that feel so tight to the place that they live in, so tight to the place to the people that are around them, that they feel that any intruder is going to destroy that, and I'm a threat to them, even though I'm not even in a gang myself.
But not being in a gang doesn't stop you from being a target. This teenage girl, who's not a gang member and doesn't want to be identified for fear of repercussions, has been the victim of 2 postcode attacks in the last month.
I was going through to my dad's house, and I had to go through to East London, And I was just walking down the road and I felt two people coming up behind me on a bike. I turned around and one was a boy, one was a girl. And they stopped me. They said to me, "What ends are you from?" I said to them, like, I'm from North London, but my dad lives like 2 minutes away. And they like, just because I was 2 minutes away from where my dad lives, like across the border, they took all my stuff off me and mugged me. I'm scared to go and walk just to the end of my road, like, because I'm scared I'm gonna have my phone taken off me. My phone that I've got on me don't cost no more than £20 because I'm too scared of going and buying a nice phone just to get it taken off me.
I mean, doesn't that really mess up your freedom? I mean, when you're going somewhere, do you have to think about which way you're going to get there?
Yeah, like, there's, like, I can walk loads of ways, say, to get to my house, but the way I need to walk would, say, take 20 minutes, and the reason I walk that way is because it's light. Like, I'm scared to walk certain ways and certain places in my area.
But the teenagers on this estate are not hiding from the problem. They're determined to end gang warfare in the only way they know how.
Sound Radio, 15:03 AM.
They're hosting a phone-in show on the local radio station with Biko as presenter and his friends on the discussion panel. The first caller is a parent.
The other day I saw a youth walking on the road and he was wearing a T-shirt saying E9 until I die. Now that youth's parents must have seen him leaving the house with that T-shirt on and know what that T-shirt promotes.
It's like a yard. You guard your house, you get what I'm saying? This is my yard, this is what I have to look after, this is all I've got. So if you're going to come and you're outside and I don't know you, I'm going to have my guard up. This is all we have. Don't come in and try and disrespect the programme. You hear what I'm saying?
They're hoping that by getting people to talk about local rivalry, they can break down the divisions in the neighbourhood. It's a goal that John Jeffers is also aiming for. He's lived in Hackney since he was a child. In fact, he was once a member of a teenage gang himself, but now he's on the other side of the law.
You know, obviously just sort of make sure you've got some places and stuff like that to recreate, so the computers and everything's all right and stuff, yeah?
He set up a youth project on the Nightingale estate, and one of its key purposes is to stop local kids from joining postcode gangs.
The project is to really develop character in young people. We're here to motivate young people and to try and, you know, bring out the best of them. A lot of them haven't got any place to go, so they come here. And when they come here, we try to more or less just to give them a place where they can be developed and also to give them some life survival skills.
Projects like this may be helping to turn things around, but the problem of postcode gangs won't go away overnight. The answer lies with the gangs themselves, and that's what's encouraging. There are kids in this area who are proactively working to make things safer, reclaiming their streets before they quite literally become no man's land.